fans or butts, and they will try to put your head on a stick. Now, you can avoid this by by not replacing people with AI and using as an assistant at their job and paying them the same, if not more. Okay, yeah, you'll keep your head. But if you use it to replace humans, they will come for you. But all right, though, let's go ahead and get into it.
By having the nurse in Queens not pay taxes. Why is somebody at all? Why is a nurse in Queens who makes $75,000 a year paying more than $1,000 a month in taxes?
You know Jeff Bezos is feeling the heat and afraid of a revolution when he's calling to eliminate income taxes.
Now, hold on. Dang, Bison, you're going to make me go off topic for a little bit. But I remember that one. It's where they would play ghost voices over the Vietnamese radio, make it sound like their ancestors, cursing them for getting into this war, telling them to surrender. And they would actually believe the ghost voices over the radio and just start surrendering and all that good stuff, or like crash their planes out. Like, bro, crazy stuff.
Why is a nurse in Queens who makes $75,000 a year paying more than $1,000 a month in taxes?
You know Jeff Bezos is feeling the heat and afraid of a revolution when he's calling to eliminate income taxes for the bottom half of America.
But here's the thing, Jeff Bezos. If you're going to replace your workers with AI, eliminating income taxes is not going to do anything for them because they don't have a job to take taxes out of. But I mean, you're in the right direction. You just need to go a little bit further, actually helping, actually working, or I would say this, actually trying to help out your employees who help your business run, not be one of the most savage business owners in today. Well, as of today, because considering how these Amazon employees are treated and how they're pretty much walked over, I'm sorry, but yeah, you're kind of like the modern day robber baron. The guys who are making people work in dangerous factories for 10 cents an hour.
So do you need more signs that the oligarchs are afraid that we're going to revolt? They know it's coming. Well, here, let me show you. You remember this, right? So this is Larry Fink. He's Trump's boss. He's the boss of everybody. He's the head of BlackRock, which owns everything. So there's only 3 companies in the world. Do you know that? In the Western world, there's only 3 companies. It's BlackRock,
Facts.
It's Vanguard, and it's State Street. That's it. So we have 3 companies. You get, as George Carlin said, you get 40 different brands of cereal. You only get 2 parties and 3 companies that everybody works for. And
China has a freer market.
China has a freer market than we do.
Yeah. Considering that, considering that they got more providers and, all of our foods are owned by maybe like the same 5-6 companies. All of our, even our music is owned by select companies. So we frame it like a free market, but really only the big guys survive. And the big guys just end up eating the little guys at the end of the day through buyouts or just destroying their sales or destroying their opportunity to make any business. They're just too big. So yeah, we say it's a free market, but every day or maybe every year it's turning more into an oligarchy. Like we say we got a free capitalist market, but it's looking like an oligarchy more and more every year.
Not for foreigners, though, because they actually give a shit about their citizens. So a foreigner can't come in and corner their markets the way we let a scumbag Canadian like Mr. Kevin O'Leary Wonderful come and do.
So they're afraid. So I showed you this the other day. I'll show it to you again, and then I'll show you Jeff Bezos. So watch this. He's afraid that so they're building the data centers so they can have surveillance on us after they take all our jobs away and we revolt. And so they can have surveillance and then put us in the ICE prisons that they built. They didn't build the ICE prisons for the immigrants. They want the immigrants here for cheap labor. That's why they're doubling down on H-1B visas.
Yeah.
So they know that people are going to revolt. And he says the quiet part out loud. Watch this. He knows they're going to start attacking them. Larry Fink knows that the plebes are going to start attacking the oligarchs.
Yeah, Larry Fink. I mean, bro, a lot of these guys who own the data center, I mean, look, they're actually afraid of people attacking the data centers. And I'm like, yeah, if they keep drawing on the water of the American people, raising their electricity bill, eventually people are going to have enough and they're going to start trying to sabotage the data centers. You're going to have to build big ass fences around it to keep the people out. And I mean, if you got to do that for a data center, then maybe it shouldn't be here.
Here in the United States, if we're going to be building, let's say, these 1 gigawatt data centers, how do we make sure we're not protecting those $50 billion, $75 billion investments?
by making sure it's working for, the greater good of the people around them, instead of, making it rise, make it shoot up their costs, making water shortage rampant in the area. Yeah, that's how you keep, these data centers from being destroyed, by not letting it drag on the American people. That's how you protect it, bro. There you go.
We have to relook at everything because of the role of drone warfare. Right now, we're looking at it internationally, but one of my concerns is, could it be a domestic terrorism using a $3,000 drone? So all of these things are actually opportunities, not problems. Here in the United States,
it's an opportunity when the plebes rise up and start attacking you. So I bring that up to show you Jeff Bezos just did the same thing.
I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be like a jihad on the elites, bro. It's gonna be wild, literally. And I promise you, honestly, it would be our fault if it gets to this point too. But if we literally let these guys do a complete AI restructuring of the employment market, and mostly everybody's left without jobs, and they're the only ones pulling in money, yeah, there is going to be a rampant attacks on the elites. And Elon knows this. I mean, Sam Altman knows this. A lot of them know this. This is why they're preparing underground bunkers, because instead of just fixing the problem, they'd rather hide from the problem and continuously make their money. But guess what? As sooner or later, there'll be no place they could hide, and heads will be put on sticks if they keep going down this. And here's the thing. I'm not threatening. I'm warning. I'm literally warning. If any of the tech CEOs see this, bro, stop what you're doing right now, because if you keep going, the people will attack you. They're going to come for your mansions. They're going to come for your mansions. They're going to come for your property. They're going to come for your kids, bro. Okay? So understand what I'm saying in, correct course.
Listen to him. Listen to him. Now, this sounds like a good thing, but listen.
We'll talk about, making the tax system more progressive. How about we start by having the nurse in Queens not pay taxes? Why is somebody at all? Why is a nurse in Queens who makes $75,000 a year paying more than $1,000 a month in taxes? That's $1,000 a month that could help with rent or groceries or anything. And so, and by the way, do you know what that all adds up to? The bottom half of income earners in this country pay only 3% of the taxes. It's only 3%. We can find 3%. So we don't have, it's a small amount of money for the government, that. And really, the more I thought about it, to me, it's kind of absurd that we're doing this. We shouldn't be asking this nurse in Queens to send money to Washington. They should be sending her to.
So our friend Power to the People, he tells you what this is all about. So I'm going to read it to you. This is what it's really about. Oh, Jeff Bezos is feeling the heat. Jeff Bezos is feeling the heat and afraid of a revolution when he's calling to eliminate income taxes for the bottom half of America.
Jimmy, I just want to jump in and say quickly that the regular driver for an Amazon delivery, they make about full-time $38,000 a year.
What?
That's what they make. And is he championing his own?
I don't know. That's kind of hard to believe, because, bro, these Amazon drivers actually get overworked. I mean, bro, they work like 10 hours a day, and then there's a whole shitload of overtime. There's a whole lot of packages always to deliver, but then I don't know, maybe like I said, because I'm in a logistic hub with a lot of people. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. So maybe that's why. But bro, these Amazon workers be getting slaved. A lot of them quit because of how much work they got to do. Because bro, these are literally I'll be real with you. So, usually no offense, but it's the women and the old people that quit the most. Why? Because they got to take out packages that are sometimes heavy and go up 2 flights of stairs to an apartment complex to deliver the package. They're not just delivering to neighborhoods only. They got to deliver to apartment complexes that actually drop things off on people's doorstep, and sometimes they just can't leave it off at the office. So the job is actually really straining, especially in the winter time. That's why Amazon does struggle to find truck drivers to replace them, because it is such a demanding job. And I mean, this is a job that, I'm be real, it's hard to replace with AI. You can get AI to drive them there, but AI is not going to be able to take out that package and deliver it to the person. And I mean, until we get the drones or the droids. All right, let's go. Whoops.
Workers.
His own work. Well, I'm going to show you about his workers in a second. Do you know what the turnover rate for an Amazon worker is? Do you know what the turnover rate is in an Amazon fulfillment center, Kurt? Do you know what it is? Take a guess. What's the turnover rate? In 1 year, how many people quit?
I thought it was something like 80%, and they designed it that way because they know when you break and they can get a new person.
Good guess, Kurt, but you're wrong.
Oh,
My opinion.
It's 150%.
God damn. It's like, bro, they plan on you quitting. That's what I'm saying. They don't care how much work they put on you because they plan on running your ass down. They plan on you working so much, you get sick, you rack up the points, and then they fire your ass. Then they'll wait a year later, hire your ass back again, just to do the same thing to you and fire your ass once more. And you go through this endless cycle throughout the fulfillment centers or wherever you're at, depending. Yeah, fulfillment centers. I don't know, until you wisen up and go to school and get something, I don't know, or do a side hustle or open up a business. Do something that's a little bit more secure. Because these fulfillment centers, factory jobs, they just want to run your body down and replace you. Not all of them, but most of them.
Whoa.
How do you achieve those numbers?
Do you know what they do? There was a guy who died at an Amazon fulfillment center. Do you know what they did? They put boxes around him so the other workers wouldn't get distracted and they could keep working.
That's good. Box them up.
That was the second thing they did. You know what the first thing they did was, Kurt?
Nah, I remember when Amazon first came to Columbus, bro, they was giving out so much hours. And I'm not even giving out. They was demanding overtime. Like, if you weren't showing up for overtime, and I'm talking about, dog, you're working maybe like 80. They were doing 60, 80-hour weeks. Like insane shit. And people will literally be falling out, like passing out on factory floors. There's a whole lot of videos going viral around Columbus because it was happening in our Amazon factories. And I'm pretty sure you guys heard some story about it happening in your state as well. But yes, people were literally falling out and falling asleep on the floor because they were just getting overworked. And honestly, Amazon had like a really bad name in Columbus. They switched up, they fixed up a little bit. You know, it's way better than what it was when they first came here, but I ain't gonna lie, they had to change some things.
The first thing Amazon did was they clocked him out.
Oh, well, they have to do that.
And I know that because Dave Reinitz. So back to this.
He's worried about the nurses.
He's worried.
It's not funny that they died. It's not funny that he died. It's funny that they just had to make sure you couldn't. They wasn't paying him anymore. I'll be real with you. If you die on the job, I think we should just let you run out the clock for the rest of the day. In a sense, send a check to your family.
About the nurses. He's worried about the little guy. He won't pay a living wage to his workers, who makes him the richest guy in the world. He has a 450-foot yacht that costs $150 million. His support comes with a support yacht that costs $75 million. A support yacht costs $75. That's how much but he won't pay his workers a living wage.
And he's on welfare. He gets government welfare for his stupid.
And by the way, those yachts were tax write-offs.
Yeah,
yep.
All of them.
Why is a nurse in Queens making $75,000 a year, paying $1,000 a month in taxes? That's $1,000 that could be used for rent or groceries. We shouldn't be asking this nurse in Queens to send money to Washington. The poor and working class should not pay any taxes to a government that serves the billionaire class, the war machine, and Israel. Well said. But make no mistake, Jeff Bezos is not saying this because he cares.
To be honest with you, the government shouldn't be even giving out subsidies to any of these corporations. Like, what the fuck are we doing with paying government subsidies to oil corporations? They make a good amount of money. They don't need subsidies. Maybe farming, we can have that debate, and I'll probably agree with you. But even then, though, all these government subsidies are doing is making sure these people don't advance their production, because they can just rely on government subsidies and just remain the same, given the same, I guess, mediocre service. And that's not a diss to our farmers, but I'm gonna be real with you. If we just let them let them use the right tractors that actually, help them save on gas costs or on fuel costs, instead of demanding that they use this type of fuel. And instead of giving them this government funding, we try to help them, do farming in a more efficient way, less cost, instead of just giving them taxpayer dollars. That doesn't really help out with the cost of food anyway. I mean, you would think that you were giving them government assistance, it would help, lower food costs, but it hasn't. And yet we're still giving them government assistance. Like, that's a bit wild, but like I said, I get it, because some of them can't even be farmers without it. And that kind of shows a broken system.
About the bottom 50%. He's saying this to save his own ass because he understands how unstable the greed of capitalists like himself has made our society. The last time, and I said this before and I'll say it again, the last time the oligarchs were this unresponsive to the citizens, George Washington picked up a gun and started shooting people.
I think Jeff knows that. I think he's setting
And
us
so
up for UBI.
And that's why they want to give you guys like this want to give you UBI. Elon Musk has talked about giving you UBI. And what
universal income. And then I think it was Joe Rogan and Billy Carson that was talking about it. Like, yo, how much like universal income would people need in order to not go after the tech oligarchs? And they was going like, yo, it'd probably be like what everybody'd have to live at least off high end 500,000, and hopefully that isn't inflated to where 500,000 is now the new 50,000. So yeah, there would have to be some type of universal income for people who are losing their jobs to AI, or like I said, there would be riots in the streets. And here's the thing, I don't even think that the universal income would really work. Just make sure people got some work to do instead of sitting at home waiting on their universal income check, or I guess we'll call it the AI redemption check.
Why do they want to do that? Because they care about you? They want to do that because then they control you. Then you're a slave, because slave owners made sure you had housing, that their slaves had housing and food. And that's what they're doing.
Oh, no.
So now they can cut you off. They completely control you. If you step out of line, if you go and protest, they'll say you're a terrorist, and then they cut off your UBI. And so now you won't go protest.
You know what? Like, oh yeah, shout out to Mountain Man Access. Yeah, that's true. They probably wouldn't need to tell you, like, yeah, you got to sign up with this service. You got to give over this rights right here to receive universal income. Can you imagine that? To get universal income, you got to give up, I don't know, your voice, your thoughts, your complete, I don't know, character to AI. And then we'll go ahead and give you, you know, boom, some universal income. But you got to become a slave for the government and slave for AI. And we'll give you that universal income. There got to be something you got to do for it, because Mountain Man's right. Ain't nothing for free.
It's the same reason
if you
why
want to stand for that. Don't worry, your kids will. Your kids will. They'll be trained. You're good and ready. Like I don't know anybody my age who would put up with that. I there's a lot, but not everyone. But the young generation ain't even going to know that they shouldn't have to deal with that. They're not going to think they should have free speech or medical care. They're going to be like, oh, I don't. You will serve Lord Bezos and Lord Musk.
So here he is trying to tell you that what he's doing by hoarding all the money at the top. By the way, with the income inequality right now
I'm glad you said it too, Bison. Like, it would give them hella power. I mean, not only could they make you do whatever the hell they ask, but they're also can sit there and be like, oh, well, if you don't do this, you lose your UBI. If you don't follow this rule, or if you say this on social media or talk like this, you lose your universal income. Like, they can literally start using that as a way to control you, to get into it and to keep it.
In the United States, I used to say it's worse. This is the worst since the Gilded Age. Now, remember what the Gilded Age was. The Gilded Age was that meant that there was a thin patina of glitter on top of shit. That's why they call it a Gilded Age. There's a thin patina of glitter, but underneath everything is shit, and that's what everyone was living in.
Mm-hmm.
But the income inequality is worse than the Gilded Age. Right now, you have to go back to the time of the pharaohs in Egypt to find income inequality as bad as it is in the United States right now.
That was always the goal. That's why we have a big obelisk in Washington, to go back to the time of the pharaohs when income inequality was like that. They all are into that. They're going to be the technological priests of the new society. So instead of a clergyman running your life in medieval times, tech billionaires are going to be that priest class, mediating to the AI whether you get to live or die. This is going to be real Aztec, I bet.
We are not living in a golden age. We are living in the age of capitalist decay, where society is breaking down due to the endless greed of the billionaire class. And you have to understand.
And low key though, and you know what? I don't agree with Dems when he said there should be no such thing as billionaires. Actually, no, I do believe that. It's just at a certain level. At a certain level, the wealth does become like, yo, inexcusable. It's like, you know, you over here with $100-200 billion, and you tell me you can't give these people a livable wage. Like, dog, and let's use Jeff Bezos. If we took both of his yachts and we broke it down and he actually passed that down the line, I'm almost sure that he can probably increase the salary of almost every employee by maybe like $1,000. if we, I mean, I'm probably more than that. I'm just estimating here because I'm not gonna go all, I don't really know how much employees he got up under him altogether, and he doesn't even run Amazon anymore. So, but let's just say this: if you break down both of those jets, every employee in Amazon could see like $1,000 to $2,000 increase, and that's just him taking or selling the jets off and giving it to his employees. And this is what I'm saying: at a certain amount of wealth, it does become a bit unreasonable. It's like, all right, I don't know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 billion. All right, I can see how you got that out the mud. 10 billion, 20 billion. Okay, I can see where you provided some crazy service that got you that. But as soon as we go over to 100 billion, 200 billion, around that area, that's what we got to sit there and be like, all right, bro, where are you cutting costs at? And or where are you using slave labor at? Because something's not right. And I know what you're thinking, like, well, what about Elon? You're trying to say that Elon used slave labor? Well, in a way, yeah, to get those lithium batteries, child labor has to be used in Nigeria. So yeah, for you to ghost ride the Tesla, yes, a child labor has to be used in Nigeria, basically. And they're kind of slaves in a way because they're not really paid all that much at all. But who cares though? Ghost ride the Tesla, right? So yeah, that's why I always do say, like, as soon as these guys get to that level and you look through their business, there's some shady shit going on.
And that the billionaire class sits above the government. They're the boss of the government, not the other way around. In China, the government sits above the billionaire class and capital. And that's why China has stuff like healthcare. They don't go bankrupt when they get sick. They have futuristic cities. They have high-speed trains. They have infrastructure. And when their billionaires do something against their people, they put them in jail.
Yeah,
and like I said, it's how you know we're controlled by extreme crony capitalism or some capitalism that's gotten out of hand. It is our medical system. Think about it. The fact that people want to make as much profit as possible off people getting injured. They don't want to make sure people get fully coverage. Why? Because they want to make money. I think like health insurance is evil. The fact that you guys want to sit there and debate a person on should they get this coverage, like, is crazy. Car insurance, same thing. Is absolutely evil. And it's because they want to keep their money. They want to gain profits is the reason why they're doing this. And it almost makes me think like, I mean, if this is what insurance is built on, I mean, look, I get the business model, but this is corruption. This is extortion at the highest order, especially when they make it mandatory, make it a law for you to where you can't live or you can't drive or operate as an adult without insurance.
Scumbag billionaire Democrats call that fascism. When billionaires don't get to push the government around, the government pushes them around.
So listen to Jeff Bezos tell you how much his wealth hoarding and screwing of the workers to make that wealth is helping out the society. Listen to this.
Video, guys.
If I do,
make sure to like the video, guys. Appreciate the support, but guys, let's make sure we're liking that video. Watch time looking good though.
my job right. So the value to society and civilization from my for-profit companies will be much, much larger, than the good that I do with my charitable giving. And I think this is an important point to make because people forget, or they sometimes don't see that when you create something like Amazon and you're saving, I get letters from new mothers all the time that say, like, I have no idea what I would be doing right now if I didn't have Amazon. Thank you. Or what we did in the pandemic.
Now, I ain't gonna lie though, Amazon do have this clutch ass service for women and men that you can take advantage of. I mean, you could literally get hired on an Amazon and you could be planning to have a kid, right? So yes, get hired on an Amazon. Let's say you got your girl pregnant. Yeah, go work at Amazon and then let her know that you got your wife pregnant or your girlfriend pregnant, and they'll give you like paternal and fraternal leave, and they'll pay you like for about what, like 6 weeks, 6-8 weeks. They'll pay a mom and or dad to, take time off to go take care of their child paid. I mean, yeah, a lot of people finesse the system. I mean, even employees inside Amazon would tell you how to finesse that system, because it's like, yo, you could low-key be an expecting father, get in here real quick and go ahead and get like 6 months. I mean, not 6 months, but 6 weeks of pay just to, help yourself out. I'm like, oh, that's clutch.
When people can really see what an essential service we provide.
Remember what they did during the pandemic was they shut down local businesses and kept Amazon open. So I couldn't go to my corner sporting goods store and buy a catcher's mitt for my nephew because they closed that down and screwed that guy. But I could order one from Amazon, who had thousands of people working inside of a building. Why is that? That's because capital sits above your government. The billionaires run the government, and they screw you so we can funnel money upward. The money's being funneled upward. It's not, there is a redistribution of wealth happening, and it's not going from the top to the bottom. It's going the exact opposite way. And I can't imagine he mentioned, I can't believe he mentioned COVID, because that was the biggest scam in the history of scams. And the money got funneled up. How many new billionaires got made during COVID? And how many more billions did he make?
Literally, not people who went from 0 to $1 billion. It's people who went from 1 million to 1 billion. And they did say that COVID was the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. And this is why we're dealing with a lot of stuff we're dealing with today.
Because they shut down your local store. 41% of all Black-owned businesses closed permanently during COVID. Even Cornell West, that moron, that overeducated idiot, didn't realize that until I told him it. And then when I told him it, he still didn't care. Because he's lived in an ivory tower his entire life.
Hey, nah, facts though. Facts. Shout out to my man Jet. He said parental leave should be double what you make. Yeah, I mean, shoot, you was making like 25 on parental leave. You know what? Let's give him a little 50 for 6 weeks. That's going to make sure he stays, make sure the kid's safe, make sure he's in a good mental state. When he comes back, this man going to be all smiles. The man damn near going to hug me when he comes back to work. We just gave him double pay on parental leave.
His entire life.
To that. And so, this is Amazon creates tremendous value. And by the way, all companies are creating value of some kind.
So I want to talk about the value he's creating. Half of Amazon warehouse workers experienced food insecurity or housing issues in the prior 3 months. Half of all Amazon warehouse workers experienced food. The richest guy in the world. He has $150 million yacht. They had to dismantle a bridge in the city that the yacht.
Whoa. Amazon warehouse workers experience food insecurity 53%, aka like they're still going to pantries. They still got SNAP cards and all this crazy stuff, like all this helpful stuff. So that's what they mean by that. Doesn't mean that they're actually starving out here in these streets, but it does go like, yo, whoa. You got yachts and all this good stuff, but your warehouse workers still need money. I mean, are they still need government assistance? Like, I'm sorry, but what are we giving you all this government funding for? What are we helping you out with building these warehouses if you're not helping out the American people who you should be paying them enough to where they don't got to go to the pantry, where they don't got to have a SNAP card? We should be able to, like, bro, as soon as somebody works in an Amazon warehouse, we should be calling them up in the next couple of weeks going like, yeah, that SNAP card you got, dog, is cooked, bro. You making money now. And they should be like, you know what? You right. Thank God. Like, that's how it should be, but it's not. And he got the money to do it, but he doesn't. And I'm not going to be here and be the socialist and say that, oh, man, everybody needs to be paid equally. No, but you're making all this money. We would hope that you'd be able to pass some of it down. I mean, like, bro, you just can't take $10 billion less on the payout on your paycheck. Like, you sure?
That was built so they could get it out of the canal.
He rented Venice, the entire town of Venice.
Well, maybe not 10 billion, but 200 million. You sure you just can't take 200 million less in profits? Maybe 500 million less in profits since you blew over that on a jet. Can't you take just a little bit less to make sure that, people got livable wages? Is that wrong to ask for? No, of course not. I'm not asking for the man to just go broke. I'm asking him just to take a little less profit for the prosperity of the American people. And if he's a real American, then, I mean, he should agree with me on that one. Or does he care more about, crony capitalism more? I'll be fair and I won't say that, but it is a bit sus.
The entire city for his wedding.
In the prior over half of his warehouse employees struggled to pay bills in the prior 3 months from today. About 1/3 of his warehouse employees use public assistance.
Yeah, because what? Amazon warehouse workers, bro, what are they getting paid? Like 18 an hour? Like, yeah, I'm sorry, but unless you're getting assistance for housing, food, and housing, food, Bro, yeah, that's not helping you. That's why you're pretty much saying a lot of these Amazon workers are walking in $17 to $18 an hour. And of course, in order to live off that, or in order to have a livable situation where you got an apartment and food in your fridge, because Lord knows you ain't gonna get no damn house. But yeah, you're gonna need housing. You're gonna need some type of Section 8 or housing assistance, and then you're gonna need some type of SNAP benefit or something to help out with the food in order to be able to live off $18 an hour. Basically, you need Amazon and the government, and when you should honestly just need Amazon. But hey,
So we're subsidizing Jeff Bezos's billions. The turnover rate at a warehouse for Amazon, 100 to 150% annually. That's every year. They turn over their workforce 150%.
Wow.
Meaning the workforce is largely replaced every 8 to 12 months. Every 8 to 12 months, they have an entire different workforce.
damn. Yo.
This suggests, what does it suggest? Widespread dissatisfaction.
No, that's true though. I mean, no, that's true. I mean, let's be real though. I remember back in the day when I used to work at factories, bro, in 8 to 12 months, you're going to see a completely different crowd of people. Like most of the people that you may have, I don't know, did training with or came in with are going to be gone in 8 to 12 months. Really, some of them only last 6 months. So yeah, and if you stick around for that long, you're going to see a completely different group of people. And by that time, they should be offering you some type of lead position. If not, you need to leave your damn self. But hey, that's just me.
Or difficulty sustaining the work long term. Is that what it suggests? Let's keep going. Did I ask Grok, did Amazon play a role in small businesses closing and main streets in small towns across America?
Yep.
Boarding up their businesses and turning into ghost towns? Because I drive through those places doing comedy all the time. Amazon played a big role in accelerating small business struggles and Main Street store closures. Amazon. So this is him, but he's helping the society because a pregnant mom can go and order diapers from Amazon and have it delivered to her house. By
Who
someone.
wrote a thank you to him. I don't believe that anyone.
I don't believe
any
anyone.
mother wrote that to him.
But it wasn't the only or direct cause. It's part of a larger retail apocalypse driven by consumer shifts to online shopping. Older surveys from 2017 found that 90% of independent retailers reported negative revenue impact from Amazon. So that's every retailer in the country reported negative revenue impact, with 28% calling it significant. Many small
Yeah, the only small businesses that really survived are the ones that closed down their shop and just went straight e-commerce. Just said, look, bro, we can't survive just having a whole building and all that. We got to close it down and just sell on Amazon. And a lot of them kind of survived that way. But most of them who really wasn't tech savvy enough to get set up the whole e-commerce, Shopify, and other things like that, yeah, they kind of just went under. And that's just the sad reality of it. In business, if you can't technologically adapt, you go under. That's what happens to places like Blockbuster.
and mortar stores in apparel, books, toys, etc. lost customers and closed as foot traffic declined. The scale of closures, thousands of stores closed annually. For example, 8,200 stores closed just last year. With,
Jimmy, I think,
with boarded up main streets visible in many towns, chains like Sears, Toys R Us, and others filed bankruptcy, partly due to inability to compete. The trend started pre-Amazon dominance, but accelerated. What, Kurt?
I think his company was always a CIA front because all these scumbag tech worthless animals, every one of them had a non-profitable business that made it simply to grab all the market share. So clearly there's an overall goal here. Do you know what I mean? That they're all working towards so that nurses can one day pee in bottles.
So just remember that people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, George Soros, they don't do things for you. They do things for themselves and they use you to pay for it. It's called an upward transfer of wealth.
Yep.
And I can't believe I don't have